All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. In Australia, we're not strangers to natural disasters, whether we're talking floods or fires. They can have a very serious effect on someone's life or a family's life, and those effects could be emotional, physical, or financial. Today I wanted to talk about the financial side of things of a natural disaster, and I wanted to focus on 3 things to do and 3 things not to do when faced with the blow of a flood or a fire. The first thing is to create a budget, to sit down ideally with your partner if you have one, or by yourself, and to list your expenses and your income. Work out what's coming in, what's going out. Now, ideally, you would have done this previously, but if you haven't before, create a budget. Work out what you need to live off every week and what you essentially can save. Now, if your work has been unaffected and if your expenses are not changing and you don't need to replace things and you don't need to buy things, then this may not be as necessary to navigate that particular situation. But just as a rule of thumb, and I've said this many times before, but having a budget makes such a difference when navigating any financial stress, especially something like this. And in most cases, if you've been hit by floods, for example, you most likely need to buy things. You need to pay for an excess for your insurance. There's a chance you've had loss of income if you're self-employed, or if you work in a particular industry which a big part of your income relies on performance and you can't essentially perform. So having a budget, it doesn't only help you understand what's coming in and out, but hopefully it's going to empower you and it's going to give you some motivation to be able to get through things financially. The second thing is to contact debt providers. So talk to your bank about the mortgage that you've got, or if you've got some loans or credit cards or whatever it may be, talk to them. And if things are tight financially for one reason or another, discuss it with them. Be open. Discuss different ways of making those payments and the time frames and all the rest of it. Don't ignore phone calls or don't ignore letters from the banks or from the credit card companies, or at the end of the day, many people, when they go through financial stress, they love to just curl up in a ball and just ignore everyone around them, ignore their obligations, their financial obligations, and it does nothing but cause harm, because when you're not open to your bank, for example, and you're not talking to them about why you haven't made those payments on that personal loan, they're going to take things to the next level. And they're going to do what they need to do on their side of things to ensure that you can make payment or that you do make payment. If you talk to them, they actually will understand your situation, hopefully, and they'll be able to see your side of the story and work with you. And working with someone like that is a lot better than ignoring them and doing nothing about it. The third thing is to look into government assistance. There is a lot of government assistance out there for people that have been hit by natural disasters, and the government, and it's normally done through Centrelink, and through this method, the government offers certain financial help in different ways. Now, some people are eligible for these, some people aren't. And this financial assistance could be helping you find temporary accommodation if your house has been hit and you literally have nowhere to live. Another thing is the financial assistance. There are sometimes mortgage relief loans that the government offers. There are bond loans, rental grants. The other thing as well is through various contractors and through the government, sometimes you can have assistance in repairing your home, especially if you're aged over 60 and you have a disability. There's a government department called Home Assist Secure, and they can help provide subsidies for repairs to a house and minor repairs. The other thing as well is when it comes to the financial side of things and working with governments, if you owe money to the tax office, it goes back to what I said earlier about talking to them about your situation and helping them understand where you're at the moment and why things are what they are. Now, the 3 things not to do. First of all, do not neglect your mental and physical health. When somebody is stressed out about a situation, when we all are, we like to think about things. And it's very easy to let a particular situation get to you, especially if it's quite severe and serious. Of course, it's going to get to you. But how you manage that situation mentally will make a really big difference, because those that do seek help when they need it are more likely to be able to manage that situation better than those that don't seek assistance. It could be professional assistance that you seek, or it could be just literally talking to friends and family and having a sounding board or having someone there to talk to. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a free 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au. The other thing is your physical health. Again, I get it. Things would be stressful. Things would be sometimes crazy, depending on how hard you've been hit. But physical health, just getting some exercise, getting some sunlight, getting out there, doing things physically, it's all going to help you in the long run, and it's going to help you manage the situation a lot better. The second thing I would say that you should not do is make rash decisions. When somebody is in a crisis, it's very, very common for them to make rash decisions, to make quick decisions. Yep, this sounds right. Let's just do that. Yep, let's do that. Let's cancel this. Let's cancel that. I see so many cases where people go through financial stress, whether they've lost a job or something like this, and they cancel things that they really needed. Like they'll go and cancel their income protection insurance, for example, or they'll go and cancel their house and contents insurance or their car insurance, or, they'll go and cancel this particular membership that they've had for a really long time that, and they suddenly lose benefits for canceling it. I'm not saying don't reduce expenses. I'm just saying think about it. And if it helps, and if you have a financial advisor, this is the time to call your financial advisor. If you don't, talk to somebody, have someone come in from an outsider's perspective to check in on the decisions that you're making. I cannot stress how important it is to have someone there to help you make objective decisions. That's what we do as financial advisors. We come in from an outsider's perspective. We bring objectivity to strategy. We help people look at things from a different point of view. And if you really need to cut down costs, if you need to make some pretty quick decisions, run us past somebody that you trust, somebody that will be open and honest with you, not somebody that's going to agree with everything that you say as well. And the third thing is that you shouldn't do is give up. Do not give up. It's the tough times that make us stronger. It's going through these adversaries. It's being faced with these adversaries, which makes us come out a lot stronger on the other end with whether it's skills that we learn, whether it's confidence, knowing that, yep, if I could do this, I can do anything. Or even whether it's just building on your perseverance. It's like literally, if you just think of running a marathon, yes, it's hard. Yes, halfway through, you might want to give up. But if you finish that marathon, how amazing are you going to feel? How confident will you be in yourself? And how positive will you be in the future, knowing that you can achieve other similar obstacles, other marathons? This is the same thing. It's very easy to give up, and yes, it's a lot easier said than done. But by being persistent and by being strong-willed and by surrounding yourself with the right people, you will hopefully be in a much better position compared to if you hadn't done any of that at all. So just to recap, create a budget. Have a structure in the way you're managing your money so that you know what's actually going on. Secondly, contact debt providers, people that you owe money to. Talk to them, tell them the situation. Communication is key. Third of all, look into government assistance. Look into what the government is doing to help you in that time and what they're offering. So many times I find people in situations, and I'll mention something that the government's offering, and they've got no idea because, again, you don't know what you don't know, but at the same time, if a simple Google search can sometimes bring up things, or talking to a financial advisor or talking to somebody that's going through something similar, that helps a lot, because when people work together, a lot more gets done compared to if everybody just worked individually. The 3 things not to do, again, don't neglect your mental and physical health. It is so important to focus on it. It is so important to make sure that you are looking after yourself so that you can get through the situation. Secondly, do not make any rash decisions. Have someone come in there, help them give you some objectivity. Think about things. Look at things from an outsider's perspective. Look at other ways of doing things. Instead of cancelling something, see if you can potentially put it on hold or if you can defer it. Make an informed decision. So if you're going to cancel something, talk to that provider about the fact that you want to cancel it. Find out what benefits you might lose. Find out if it's going to be easy to set up again later on. I mean, I just think of life insurance in this situation where somebody will have a policy they've had for 10 years and then I'll just find out that they just cancelled it one day because they just were struggling financially. And, if that person had talked to their advisor or to the insurance company, in this situation, for example, they would have been told that this is a policy that they couldn't get anymore, that their health had changed over the years, which means getting insurance, a new insurance policy, would be almost impossible. And third of all, it would be a lot more expensive even if they could get approved. And that person actually had the option to put their policy on hold and they didn't do that. So, because they didn't know, because they didn't call, they didn't inquire. And the last thing is don't give up. Do not give up. It's easier said than done. I know I can sit here behind a microphone and, say, don't give up, keep going. And I haven't been hit. Fortunately, I haven't been hit by any floods or fires, ever. So I do not know what it feels like. But what I do know is that when everything is stacked up against you, when things just are not working out and there's just one stuff up after another stuff up, it's so easy to just throw your hands in the air and be like, you know what, stuff this. It's not going to happen. But if you focus and if you actually look at your mindset and you tell yourself that you're going to get out on the other end stronger than ever, and that this is the thing that's going to make you, and this is the thing that's going to help you be stronger and better, I promise you, you will not regret it. Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.